doing one every day during the week. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try this week, see how it goes. Here we go. Tuesday talk. Listen, we got to talk about the duo that's turning out to be pretty dynamic. Obviously, Van Dyke, big money signing, comes in, and straight away we, as a defense, concede less goals since he's been there. I don't have the stats in front of me. Surely some of you who watch know, um, but that's number one. Now we have Gomez, who has been wanting to play center back since he's come to Liverpool. When he came to Liverpool, that was his goal, and he's played some fullback, some center back, but not consistently enough at the center back role. And you can tell this is a young kid who's been hungry to do this ever since he's come to Liverpool, and doing so well at the fullback spot. I think you can tell that there were moments where he wasn't really that comfortable because he's used to being more in a central defending situation. Didn't make excuses, didn't sulk about it, played, and that's something you notice that's consistent about Klopp when he gets players. Most guys don't really sulk about playing out of position, so to speak. They believe in Klopp. They believe in the system and what you can gain from that, and they usually fall right in line. So, but you can tell Gomez is definitely was waiting for this and wanting to show how great he is in his natural position, or what he seems to, or he feels is his best position. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it looks like Gomez is even bulked up a bit. He's gotten much stronger in the offseason. I don't know what he's been doing. Is it eating differently? Is it weightlifting? But he looks very, very big next to Van Dyke. Not as big as Van Dyke, but he looks much bigger than he did last season. And so that's good as well. I think he's faster than Van Dyke as well. So he's more of that sweeper guy when we're pushing forward. There's a ball over the top. He's going to be a lot of times that last guy. That and or teams are really kind to or trying to pinpoint him, attack him. They know that he's, in their mind, maybe the weaker of the two. He's the younger of the two. His experience in the Premier League as center back isn't as he doesn't have the much experience as Virgil van Dijk does. So teams are clearly trying to attack him. You've seen that in every game that we played this season. First game, Arnautovic had one moment where he almost beat him, but Gomez, again, with the speed, was able to catch up to him and force Arnautovic wide. So it's a really good tandem for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, as I spoke about, Van Dijk has a bit more experience. He's kind of that leader, that captain of the defense, if you will. But there's going to be a lot of things that Gomez has to learn quickly. And I say learn like as he hasn't played that position, but again, in the Premier League, stakes are high, big time games coming up. This is going to be a real mature kind of coming of age season for Gomez in the Premier League again for Liverpool as that second center back. So it's looking to be really good, guys. Really good. He played well again against Brighton, I think. And he's dealing with these kind of duties that he needs to do, being kind of the sweeper of the two, being the guy who's a bit faster and has to maybe have to run down some guys from time to time. And he's just been smart. But again, what's impressed me is just how he's bulked up. He looks maybe that bit much sharper, faster, quicker, mentally quicker, getting on things really quick, doing his assignments, cleaning up in the bag, heading stuff away. It's just really good right now, and that looks to be something that is promising moving forward. And I've said it before. I think most people probably see that at this point that Lovren's going to find it really hard to come back in the squad. And again, that's why a squad is so big, and a squad is so important, so essential, because you need to have guys who are hungry and chomping at the bit to come in and prove to the manager that, look, I know I wasn't in the beginning of the season, maybe you're a nailed on dude here. Things happen, unfortunate or not. Here I am. This is what you see. This is what you see. So I'm gonna make it hard on you to put the best center back in the world back into the team. So Lovren called himself one of the best. So that's really good, man, and that right away gives a feeling of your squad being that much deeper. We know Lovren splits opinion. We know there are people who feel like he gets too much negativity towards him, and so much that we're blinded to maybe the good things that he does. I think at the end of the day, even the people who support Lovren, you have to, at the end of the day, say that he is one of those dudes that you just cannot trust on a consistent basis. He's always due for a big, huge error, big mistake at some point. Kind of like Karras in that way. It's right around the corner. He might not do it every week, but it's right around the corner, and usually it's a big game, in my opinion. So There's no need for me to go back into those games that didn't happen. At the end of the day, look, Gomez is doing what he needs to do to, I think, stay in the squad. And so, until he has a dip in form or what have you, Matip's back, came on against Brighton. It's good to have him back just as another body. And again, I think most of these guys next to Van Dijk, by default, they're going to look half decent. They'll probably get at the least a 6.5. If we're doing, ratings at the end of games, but they will probably average 7s at least out of 10, just because they're in the company of Van Dijk. And I think playing next to a top player like that, naturally, it should compel you to, raise your game. Your game should already be raised anyway. You're getting paid lots of money. You're playing the game you love. This is what you want to do as a child. A lot of people can't have can't afford the chance to do that. You should always raise your game. But I think naturally in all sports, when you're playing next to a guy like Van Dijk, who I think is the best center back in the league, and possibly top 5, top 8, 10 maybe in the world, you're naturally going to raise your game. And so I think we're seeing that with Gomez. We're seeing that with the back four in general. People are talking about Trent and how he hasn't come on, amazing this season so far, but he's doing really well defensively. He's doing better, I think, defensively than he has offensively for us since he's been here. So again, when certain things I talked about this with the forward players, I talked about this with the midfield players. When certain things aren't working in your favor and things that people are used to seeing from you, try to get something else. Try to be involved somewhere else. And I think he's definitely picked up that, maybe the slack, if you will, defensively, like he did, or compared to what he did last season. So that's good. That's great. I think that's another position that keeps Klein on the bench, which again just proves that our depth is getting that much better. We can also slot Fabinho over there if we need to. Obviously, Gomez can go there if we need to at some point, although I want him to stay at center back. And I think that's what we all want, and we can see. It's finally good to see him do that. And so that's good to see it. Rob on the other side, doing well. It's almost like him and Trent might have crisscrossed skills a bit. I think Robertson was slightly better defensively than Trent last season. I think Trent was better going forward, putting in passes. Robbo now, especially with working out with Naby Keita and Mane on that left, is just, we've talked about it before, it's a deadly trio on that side. So deadly trio on that side. Excuse my speech today. Moving on in the midfield, we got to talk about Gini. And listen, Gini has been, I spoke about it on Anfield Roar channel. Go over and check over Anfield Roar. Check out Anfield Roar. It looks like he's had some issues with his channel recently, trying to get it back up. But go ahead and, subscribe to his channel. Check him out. I'm on there a lot doing reviews after games, and just a very nice interactive channel. It's sad what happened to the channel, but let's try to get it back up to where it was, which I think was 1K plus, a bit more than 1K. So anyway, that's on Anfield Roar. But Gini has been a revelation, and I think that's another situation where maybe the rumors about Gini wanting to leave, and there might not be in a spot for him. Might not be a spot for him in the 8 position. At the time, believing that we're going to have Ox. Fabinho came in, Naby, Hendo, all the guys we had. And there were these rumors that Gini didn't want to be there, or he was off to maybe play for his old coach, or whatever the case may be. If that was true, it's hard to tell that. And I think it almost feels like a better story that there was an idea that he wasn't going to play. People had that as a foregone conclusion. Let's be honest. When this season started, a lot of people said, well, that's it for Gini. Because you think about Ox, you think about Naby in those 8s, and then you think about Fab and Hendo in the 10. Not really thinking about rotation, not really thinking about injuries, not really thinking about how good Gini is to this team. Now, there are points where he goes heavily missing. I've said it before. I'm not going to contradict myself now. He has done that. But at the end of the day, we can see how much of a utility guy that he is. We spoke about Milner being that kind of guy, but Gini, in a different way, is very similar. And the idea of coming from a guy who was playing more of a 10 slash kind of winger player, attacking midfield player, most of his career, especially in Newcastle, kind of the glimpses we got of him doing that. Remember the game against Norwich, he had 4 goals. A very exciting player. I think when he came to our team, people were saying, well, where's he going to play? We got to continue in that spot. That kind of is similar to that role. But you see Gini is able to, and Klopp spoke to this, Gini's able to be so turned on mentally where he can play the 6, and just like that, we can bring Hendo in, and Gini can be more of an attacking guy, and he does that. Now, is he getting the goals that we kind of could use and like to see from him? No, he's not. Will that come? I think so. Now, I'm not saying he's going to score double digits this season. He may do that. But I think he will definitely get some more goals than he's been getting for us. And so, I'm really excited about Genie, and I love the idea that he can just transform into that. And I've said it before, he seems like maybe the best six we have right now. Now, Fabinho hasn't really come in any competitive games in the Premier League, so you'd like to assume the money we pay for him and what kind of player he is, that he will probably be better than Genie because it's a natural position for him. But right now, to me, Genie is better than Hendo. Just playing the six role. The way he recycles the ball, the way he keeps the ball, the way he's positive with the ball. A lot of times, hey Mercy, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. A lot of times, Hendo can be backwards or sideways. Genie keeps the ball, and sure, he does backwards, sideways when need be, but he's more of a guy who recycles the play, doesn't give the ball away, and helps us go forward. Whether it's deep passes from that six role, whether it's very smart 1-2s, he's been really, really good at that six role. So, really proud of Genie, and again, showing how deep our squad is all of a sudden. And I think when you get players like that coming in playing roles, when you get Milner, who's been able to consistently do what he does, of course, Naby Keita. Personally, I didn't really regret not getting Fekir in the first place. But the way the team is in sync, I think you don't really think much about that. I think midfield was one of those spots on the field, even with Naby coming in and Fabinho. It felt still like, well, if one of those guys, and then Ox was hurt indefinitely, so Lallana didn't really bring you much excitement, But Hendo hasn't even gotten to his groove yet. So that's, again, a good option off the bench. Will he start against Leicester? I don't know. Will we have many changes in that starting 11? I don't know. I would like to keep it that way as long as we can, especially with the international break coming up. Then maybe you kind of flip some things. I like what we're doing right now. I like that we can bring Hendo off to give us a spark. I would like to see Shaqiri a bit earlier, though. I spoke about that before, if at all. I mean, the last couple of games, I don't think he's played at all. So, especially in those games where we've had some chances, we might need just some fresh legs. We might need that one extra quicker person. Throw Shaqiri in the number 10. Throw him on the wing. Put Mane back in the midfield or something. But do something to where you can add that much more pace, and it gives the defense one other dude who's pacey, quick, tricky, that they have to that they have to worry about. You know what I mean? That's going to help us in the long run. If we're playing against teams who they feel like, okay, we've got Salah to a certain degree kind of held down. We got Mane. Firmino's still trying to find his shoes. Jason, what's up, bro? How you doing? I'm good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are. It's probably about 7:45 here, a.m. But yeah, I want to see Shaqiri a bit earlier, and I want to see him. So again, I think you keep the same 11. Just bring it on through to the international break, and then maybe on the other side of that break, you maybe switch it up a bit. Didn't get to talk about Brighton. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, man. We could definitely get into that. And actually, let's get into it now. I'm talking about Gini. Started off with the center back tandem, and I'll talk about the Champions League in a few minutes. But Brighton, listen. I mean, give me your thoughts. I think that the Brighton game again is another. As frustrating as we were with not being able to score the goals that we probably should have scored, it's another example of Liverpool being able to eke out a win even when they're not at their best, and that's two games now. When I say at our best, I mean just goal scoring, because there were flashes in that game that we looked like our best, and we looked like, hey, we can put 5-6 on this team. So I want to be clear on that. I mean at our best as far as like getting goals, because honestly, when we're smashing teams 5-6, we're not necessarily always at our best either. I think we're kind of scintillating as far as the pace, and we're moving the ball and we're getting the goals. But I mean, just as far as taking advantage of those chances that we're getting. So Brighton again, that's a good win though. Even though it was only 1-0. Klopp spoke about it before, and I said in the last video that it's more about the 5-6 games in the season that you can get 1-0 than it is about the games that you're smashing teams 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is, nil, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 1 or 2, whatever like that. It's about the games where you can score those goals, but also play defense as well. So, I mean, I'll take a 1-0 all day. I'll take a 1-0 all day and complain about it later. As far as the things that I think we need to work on, the things that we need to work on, in my opinion, is just trying to be our best to be more clinical, take our chances. We got to get ours first. I said that yesterday. We got to get our goals first. And so if we're being clinical on a regular basis, then I don't think we're going to struggle with too many teams. I really think we're going to be trouble for a lot of teams this season. Attacking needs to be much more purposeful. Yeah, Robertson made the best run on the shoulder in the box. Yeah, definitely more purposeful. Less comfortable, lazy, and casual. That was my word for Saturday's game. I was sitting at the pub. I just kept yelling out, too casual. And I was lucky to sit next to a Liverpool Football Club card holder member, African brother who goes to a lot of the games, but lives in Brooklyn, New York. And all game, man, I think I was a bit more animated than he was. He's a little more calm and collected. But yeah, Joe Gomez gives the ball away too many times. Not good enough. I hope that's a joke. Gives the ball away. He's probably look the last game. I think most players gave the ball away in that team. Monty did as well. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's not good enough. Yeah, I hope you're joking about that. I think Gomez is more than good enough. I think he's still coming within himself just with that tandem. Yeah, I think so too. So I'm not sure what Mercy was talking about. Look, we're all entitled to our own opinion, but to say he's not good enough, I think it might be a slight stretch. I think he's been amazing, and ball giveaways are going to happen. Um, but that to me isn't really a token of a player not being good enough. So again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I think Gomez is just beginning to show what he even is going to do for us. To be honest, it's still early. Same with Naby. He's just slightly showing how good he can be. Is it me or does Robertson go backwards a lot? You mean like with passing or just movement or what? I don't know if I would say a lot. I don't know. I'm looking to watch a little bit more in depth some of these games back. There's a package here, NBC Gold Plus, like 50 every season. All the games we get most of the Liverpool games anyway, but I don't want it to be a case where I can't get it. Passing going backwards. Yeah, listen. I think a lot of times that's kind of how Klopp wants to do the recycling. I don't think he loves it, but I think there's times where that's something that's not so frowned upon. It's like let's try to recycle it and start back again. I don't think he's doing it in times where he can clearly go forward from what I can remember. I think there might be times where again there could be a blockage there. You want to, or maybe there's a high risk situation where you can thread a ball, but you feel like let's just go back, recycle, and let's be honest, we have two guys back there who are really good at passing, especially the keeper. So maybe the idea is sometimes to go back, maybe launch one, go to Van Dijk, maybe let him kind of quarterback that, go through. He's very good at passing. Gomez as well. So that's a good point. I'll look out for that more. I can't say that I really have noticed that. Who's that asked that? Jason. But I'll definitely look out for that. But no, I mean, listen, the Brighton game, that's a good 3 points. Especially the main thing I took from it was that you got City who's dropping points, led by the manager who said that he ruined football. So we'll see how much he's going to ruin it this year, or if he can just repeat that, because clearly he's already done that. So let's see if he can ruin it for a second year in a row. But them dropping points to Wolves was big, and this is where it's a this point in the season. Hopefully, it's something we look back and say, remember that 2 points. That 2 points that City dropped, we took advantage of it. It wasn't the prettiest game, but we got it. And on the heels of the game before that at Palace, tough place to play, Selhurst at night. We know what that's about. Getting that win, grinding that win out by hook or by crook. And so, yes, do we want less of those nervy moments? Of course. You know what I mean? Do we want to be able to take advantage and have those 5-6 nils? Of course. But yeah, Jose's press conference was classic, instant classic. Loved it. I mean, this guy continues to talk about the past. I don't get it. Raymond, what's up, bro? I really want Shaqiri and Fabinho to be included because I want to know if we can balance the team. Yeah, and again, I spoke about that earlier. I think we're going to keep this same lineup till about the international break, and then on the other side of that, we might see some changes. Maybe Hendo more often. Maybe Fabinho comes in here and there. Shaqiri, who knows? But there's so many different ways we can play, so many different formations, so many different personnel kind of screws that we can put in. So no, I agree. Especially Shaqiri. I think especially in second halves where we're struggling to score goals. I just think again we need to have that bit of pace added to the team. Sturridge is all fine to come in, but we need a guy who can actually beat guys with pace, who's a bit tricky, can sneak in, short guy to the ground. So he's kind of one of those guys that can come in and out. He can come in and out, and I think catch people off guard. So I love to see that. Robertson is top 5 left backs in the world. I don't know if I can disagree with that. Yeah, he did. He definitely went for Marino. And you kind of saw it happening. It was just a bizarre moment there after the game. The way he looked at the crowd and the claps. I mean, I get it. But I always feel like Marino's up to something. You know what I mean? Like he does things for the cameras. Then he speaks about it. And he kind of, So here's the thing. I think Marino clearly doesn't think every United fan's behind him, right? I mean, in that same game, the guys at the top of the stadium were saying, fuck off Mourinho, singing that song. So it was the people in that lower part that stayed around. Because look, for them, I think they feel like that was probably the most attacking that Marino has played this whole time he's been there in that first half. And they probably should have won that game, but they didn't. It's not about what you should have, would have, or could have done. It's about what happened. And so, again, you know, it's games like that where, for us, we have to really be clinical, man. Especially against a team like Spurs. We cannot have a game like United had, wide open net goals. I mean, wide open. Sure, it wasn't a straight up shot from the right angle, but that those are things that we can't do that, especially against big teams, but against any team really, because it can come back to haunt you. So it means nothing to have a better first half than the opponent if you don't have anything to show for it. So we got to learn from things like that. I think things like that we got to learn from. And again, I think with Leicester, I get more into the end towards as the week goes on. But I think with Leicester, they got Gray, they got Morrison. Then that's about it for me. There's not really much that they're going to trouble Liverpool, especially with Vardy being out. I said it before. If he had played, I'd probably put him on because he usually scores against us one way or another. But I think we should have enjoy a pretty good time against Leicester. Enjoy our football. Get back to these opportunities of taking it. These chances in their box. Schmeichel is no slouch as a goalkeeper. He has been decent. Had a good World Cup. We see what he's done with them. Obviously, Champions League winner, a Premier League winner. So, they may cause us some issues, but I think at the end of the day, if we're not being so lazy and so careless on the ball, I think we'll be much better as far as scoring our goals. Let's select the attack. Should be a lot of space. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. I think Puel is. They like to attack, but I think Puel definitely has a defensive side to him. So we'll see. It should be interesting. Their wingers like to get high. Yeah, they do. Raven, I think those claps from Marino was farewell sacking moment. That's a good. It could be. It could be that. It could be. I didn't think about that actually. I didn't think about that. And maybe he feels that as well. Maybe he felt that. The look in his eye as he looked at the stands was kind of eerie in a way. It was very horror movie like. It's just the way he looked at them, and then just it was almost like a farewell. Now that you bring it up like that, it did feel like that was the last time they might see him. And then obviously there's the thing circulating around social media of the guy telling Woodward, sack him. And I'm pretty sure we can say he's saying that. I mean, I'm not a lip reader, but it looks like he's saying sack him. So, we don't know if that's going to happen right away, but I don't think he'll make it to Christmas. So, again, third season. I think coming in, people should have known, though, Mourinho wasn't the best fit for United, I don't think. He just doesn't play their style. We see what he does with the confidence of players, top players. I think Alexis Sanchez is no longer a football player. He's a modern-day gigolo. I said it. Alexis Sanchez is no longer a football player. He's put on some pounds, and he's just there to get money and be a companion. So, look, Lukaku, I mean, I never thought he was world-class, but Jesus Christ, Pogba, World Cup winner. He's jiggling the ball around and then kicking the ball out of bounds. It's crazy. Anyway, back to Liverpool. Marino would be Cardiff manager by Christmas. That's funny. Yeah, well, Cardiff manager's going to be gone pretty soon, too, which I'm okay with. I've never been a Neil Warnock guy or whatever his name is. United finally sinking. Amazing. It is. When both Manchester teams aren't doing well in 1 week, that's great. Thompson, what's up, baby? So, I mean, let me get back to Liverpool. So, Champions League situation is coming up soon. And listen, there's a couple pots that we could be in, right? So, we know pot 3, which would be Ajax, Schalke, Lyon, Monaco, Salzburg, CSK Moscow, and PSV Eindhoven. I think most people would probably pick that as pot 3, if I didn't get my pots wrong. And then pot 2 would be us, of course, Dortmund, Porto, United, Shakhtar Donetsk, Napoli, Spurs, and I think Roma, if I didn't get that incorrect. And it's all based on this team between some Greek side called PAOK, or is it just the letters PAOK? I don't know. Versus Benfica. So I think if Benfica beat them, then we'll be in pot 3. If the Greek team beat Benfica, pot 2. So based on those two pots, let me know who you guys would prefer. I think most of you would probably say pot 3. It has the easier teams. I'd take either one. There's no teams in any one of those groups that slightly bother me. To be honest, I want us to do bad this season in Champions League. I want us to focus solely on... Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I forget what channel I was watching and somebody said that. Oh, no, maybe it was Vuj. from 90 Minute was talking about it. I think he's kind of saying it jokingly, but there's some point to that. Maybe you're right. I mean, it was though. Did you see his face? The way his eyes? I don't know, man. Like even in that press conference, like he, um, yeah, there was some craziness going on in there, man. And in his eyes and just how he's feeling right now. I think he knows it's coming, and I think again it'll be probably around Christmas. But back to the Champions League. I'm happy with any one of those pots. I really don't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. I think Wednesday is that game, and then we'll see by Thursday. What game am I looking forward to the most? I'm waiting for Spurs at home. Gotta get him out of here. That's from Jason. He said you want pot 3 too. I thought Spurs was at Wembley. Maybe you're saying it's at their home, or is the first game at home? Anyway, honestly, this is gonna sound, you know, boring, but I'm looking forward to every game. I think, okay, yeah, Spurs, sure. City United, those are always the games I'm looking forward to for obvious reasons. Everton are much better this season, I think. I'm always looking forward to that game. As far as matchup though, Watford looked decent. I would love to play them. The Bournemouth match will be always a good one. They gave us some problems in the past, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Spurs. Looking forward to Spurs. About to hurt me with that 2-2. Yeah, no, I get you. I get you in the dive and all that. Yeah. I mean, even the 4-1. I think it was the 4-1. Yeah. So yeah, I get you on that. A little bit of revenge. Plus, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Kane has been out talking, running his mouth, saying about Liverpool being one of the teams that need to put their money where their mouth is. And listen, I get what you're saying, but I think most people at this point who watch the channel know I don't like Harry Kane. And so, yes, I am looking forward to that, but more so just looking forward to kind of shutting him out, being physical with him. I think, again, these teams are going to find it very hard to play Liverpool this season, especially the top teams. They're going to find it very, very difficult to beat Liverpool this season, especially at home. So, but even away, especially a chance to get to see those gray uniforms again. I love that gray kit, man. I love it. When the kits came out, I was into all of them more or less. Even the purple one. I know some people don't like the grape one, but that gray one, it's just so beautiful seeing them, man. The gray all the way down to the socks. I love it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to all the games. Yes, Spurs for sure. I wish it was going to be in their stadium, but they're still at the Spurnabout, as one of their channel guys, Expressions, calls it, the Spurnabout. But yeah, so hopefully they'll get their situation together, and maybe that's where the money was going. Maybe that's why they didn't spend on any players. But I'm looking forward to the season in general, and the Champions League. That was a good point you made. I think there are probably a lot of people who agree with that. Let's focus on the Prem. Let's get this, because this is the season where I think we're really in a good place to do it. And I think if we're not out of Champions League early, it won't be anything that I'm going to celebrate, but it will be, okay, you know what, we got the league, we got League Cup. Let's put everything into getting a trophy. Let's put everything into a domestic crown this season. So I wouldn't disagree with that. Well, let me not say that. I get where you're coming from. I want us to be tops and everything, but it does make sense to focus on the Prem. Obviously, if we get knocked out, that's what we have to do. But I definitely don't want us, obviously, to be, getting knocked out on purpose, which will never happen. But, I want us to make sure we're prioritizing everything. There had to be a point, again, though, Champions League isn't going well, then maybe you do prioritize the Premier League. But we'll see. I mean, based on these pots, you never know. And again, I don't fear any of these pots. I take all of them. I was kind of hoping personally to have Real Madrid in the group stage. Personally, I would love to play them. I would love to beat them again. So who knows? If we advance further, get to a quarter semi, maybe we'll play them again. I don't think Real Madrid will make it to a final again. I'd be highly surprised with that. Definitely not to win it. Making it back is possible. It happens. It's football. But I can't see Real Madrid getting a fourth in a row. That's insane. And I think if that happens, then they need to just ban the Champions League altogether for a full season, because nobody wants to see that. I mean, that's ridiculous. But obviously, Real Madrid fans. So, yeah, I covered most of that today, guys. It's basically just want to talk about just the improvement of that center back tandem, just to kind of do a review for people who just came on late. I think Gomez is doing an amazing job with Van Dijk, and I'm proud to see him playing the role that he wants to play. And you can see he's bulked up, he's gotten stronger. Maybe you guys haven't noticed, but it looks like to me he's gotten a bit bigger. He is more of the sweeper between the two, so teams are going to target him. They have done it already. But he's doing really well, I think. I think he's doing really well. Then I talked about Genie, just about his kind of coming of age as a six, man. I think you can easily say that he's our best six right now. What he does defensively, what he does with his passing, the accuracy of his passing, the percentage, and all those things. Which a lot of times I don't really pay attention to those stats because, if you're a guy who's passing the ball back and sideways all game, you can score a high accuracy rate. When you see Genie, that's not what he's getting the passes from. It's from more forward thinking, recycling the ball, making smarter plays downfield, across the field, cutting through the middle of the park. So I think what Genie's been able to do for us is really, really amazing, especially being a player who a lot of people thought wouldn't be a space for him or a consistent space for him in this team with getting Naby, with getting Fabinho. So I don't want us to draw Madrid, Juve, Dortmund, if that's possible. Yeah, I'm cool with any one of those teams. I want Madrid personally, but yeah, Juve, Dortmund, I take those two. Second place and an FA Cup win, a good season. I think that's a great season. I want to win the league. I want to be first place, but I think that's a great season. Yeah, second place, the highest we've had under Klopp, the highest we've had in a while since I guess Rodgers. And FA Cup win, sure, I'll take that. I think it's a great season personally, especially if we do pretty well in the Champions League as well. So I'll take second place in FA Cup win. Yes. Jason, I still think Buvac would be a big miss. Possible his absence is the reason our attack is looking a bit shaky. That's a bit of a stretch, I think, Jason. But I mean, fair enough. Not elite tactical training videos, and he's always doing nothing. Yeah, I think honestly, I know that's Klopp's right hand man, but I think Pep is just as good. I really do. I think he's just as important and essential. You can see he does very similar things that Buvac does. He might seem a bit more vocal. I don't know. That could be me. I think Buvac obviously was very essential to Klopp. I mean, he's been everywhere he's been as a manager, as his kind of right hand man. But I don't really think. I think what we're struggling and attacking is just being clinical. But we did that oftentimes with Buvac. So to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with how we look in attack at all. I just think we're not being clinical enough. So I get what you're saying. I don't know if I agree. But again, it's still early days, and I think the attacking verb is going to come back. You know what I mean? Or the goals are going to come. So I'm not really too concerned about that, to be honest. I'm more so happy that our defense looks to be top notch in the league right now. Again, I know it's early. I don't want to be prisoner of these moments of these games, but hey man, the defense is looking amazing. And when you have that with how good our offense is, I mean, we're not going to have to outscore people to win games now. We're not. We're going to be able to score, and then just set up and play defense. Actually, Klopp's never going to set up and play defense. Let's imagine that. But we'll be able to hold leads, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and not let them slip like we've done in the recent past. So Mercy says, remember when people were saying Lukaku is better than Firmino? Yeah, I think there's probably people still saying that, which is fine. I never really believed it or cared that much about it anyway. But yeah, I do remember. Can't wait to see how Gomez does against Spurs. I agree with that. Yeah, early days, to be honest, says Jason. As a Viking fan, I'm loving the Liverpool. Oh, the purple joint. Yeah. I think the gray is my favorite. I got to see the purple again in a competitive match. I just can't. I've seen it in preseason, but I don't remember how. I mean, I like it, but I don't know. I love the gray. Hopefully, Klopp stops all the silly substitutions. Yeah, and that's been the most consistent. One of the complaints I've had about Klopp. Kane will destroy Gomez if he starts. Mercy, man, you're on one today. Why do you think Kane's gonna destroy Gomez? Jesus, bro. Let's have a little bit of optimism. And you really don't like Gomez, or maybe you're just not a Liverpool fan, really. Maybe you're just on here having a good time. But yeah, well, tell me about that. Why do you think he's gonna destroy Gomez? What makes you think that? Why would you say that? I mean, do you rate Kane that highly? Or you just don't rate Gomez at all? I don't think he's going to do an amazing job against Gomez. I mean, it is Kane. He is a guy who scores goals. He's shown that. Got over his August hump of not being able to score goals. So, yeah, he may have some joy in the game, but I don't think he'll destroy Gomez personally. But let me know you guys' thoughts, what you guys think about what Mercy said there. And Mercy, if you care to just tell me why you think that. I mean, I know earlier you said that Gomez isn't good enough. So maybe that's kind of what you're getting at. But yeah, and I spoke about the Champions League. So, leave you guys' comments when you watch back for those who didn't watch it live. Maybe the guys who watched live that wanted to just say something. Let me know what you think about the Champions League situation. Gomez is bad in your opinion. So you prefer Lovren over Gomez, or who would you prefer over Gomez? Lovren, Matip. Um, that's interesting. That's interesting that you think Gomez is bad. We need to win at least the next 3 or 4 Premier League games and build a little cushion. Yeah, but no question, no question. We need to be doing what City is doing, which is winning all of these games in the early stages. I don't even think it's more than the next 3, 4. We have to stay on a consistent win streak. We have to, because City's going to do it. City's going to win the majority of their games. Trust me. So, we got to be there. Now, they'll have some struggles, and they'll lose some games, I think, more than they did last year. And maybe ties more than they did last year. But they're definitely not getting 100 points again. But they're going to be winning most of their games. And so we have to be on our game. I'd be more worried about Lucas. Yeah, that's like a new signing for them. I agree with that, Jason. I heard that Gomez is as fast as the front three. He is. And that's why I think he's more of that sweeper role. Like, remember, he played, fullback for us, and he showed that speed. That's not really a surprise. Tony K, what's up, baby? Um, so yeah, does anyone else agree that Gomez isn't good? And I'm just curious, because maybe, I don't know, maybe there's more people that think Gomez is bad than I think. But no, Gomez is, I think, coming into his own, doing really well, um, and looks really comfortable in that role to me. But um, but yeah, the speed he has is really good for that tandem. When you have Van Dijk, who is very much the calm, kind of stout, powerful presence. It's always nice to have a quicker, partner with you. Much quicker than Lovren, I think. And at the stage in the game, I just think, you didn't see him making many mistakes like Lovren, even though. Yeah, I agree. I'm only asking because Mercy seems to think that he's bad. And I've heard that before. But I just can't see that. I don't see that in Gomez as being bad. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, Tone. Yeah. Yeah, it is. So I'm looking forward to the Champions League draw, man. We'll definitely be live doing a stream on that. Gomez is good and can be better for me. Is a better prospect than Trent. Not saying Trent is bad. That's an interesting shout. Okay. Gomez is very good on his feet. Physically, he's a beast. Needs more tactical experience. He'll get that. Yeah. I think there's only, up that Gomez can go. I mean, the ceiling is limitless. I mean, there's no limit to how good he can get. So yeah, I'm happy with Gomez personally. It seems like most people here seem to be as well. But I think that's interesting. So I when people say people aren't good, that I think the majority of us think they are. I kind of just want to know how and why. How you come to that conclusion, why you think that, and not for an argument's sake, just to get an insight on what you may see or what you don't see. I guess the people who don't like Gomez would prefer Lovren or maybe Matip, or maybe you're even upset that we didn't get another center back or that we let Klavan go. But Mignolet, that he isn't too keen on being number 2 and he wants. No, I've heard about it, but I didn't really need to see that to know that. I mean, he's been a number 1 keeper for the most of his career, so I'm not surprised that he doesn't want to stay and be number 2. So, Gomez is good right now, but things will change as the season goes on. Someone else will step up. Yeah, I mean, you say that, but I think this is his position now. I'm sorry. I mean, I think once Lovren is healthy, I definitely think he comes right in. I think right now he's going to be one of those guys that gets rotated. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think Gomez right now looks better than Lovren has looked. Again, it's still early, so we'll see. But he was a body. Klavan is not a big loss, but he was a body if we needed to play. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think Klopp's thinking is you bed Fab in good. You can slide him in there if for that he can be that extra body, and I think not many people will be too disappointed with Fab playing center back, which I think we may see at some point in this season. Then again, I don't want to say that because I only think we'll see that if we're having some serious injury problems at center back. So yeah, we spoke about Marino earlier, man. He's having a serious meltdown, and I can't lie, it's kind of good to see, mainly just because it's for United. I like Jose Mourinho personally. I know a lot of people on here don't. I love Jose Mourinho, but it's good to see United not doing well. Definitely not Matip. Only an injury is getting Gomez out. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Roasting every manager in the Prem that he has. Yeah, but see, that's my thing with Jose. He always deflecting and going in the past. Man, that's no time recently. You know what I mean? And that's facts though. It's facts. He has more combined than any other man. That is facts in the Prem. But what are you doing for your team now? So that's the only thing. I love Marino because he's honest, and I love that he's a straight shooter. I don't like that he deflects. Um, you know what I mean? I think I'm surprised he didn't say something like, "Well, look, well, he kind of in a roundabout way said, look, people cried about me playing attacking football. We did that. I can't score goals for Lukaku. I can't be out there and make better passes that don't, instead of back passes towards the keeper to cause us issues. I can't do those things. I put the guys in the position. They didn't do it. So that's what I would have said. You know what I mean? But, he hasn't won the Prem with United. If he wants to step up, he has to win tonight. Well, that's not happening. So everyone in United is a history teacher. Eh. I mean, I think a lot of people can say that about Liverpool as well. I mean, we tend to bring up history a lot, which I think this is why it's so nice now to see this team right now, who I think could. And listen, I don't want to overdo it. And again, I probably said I know it's early a billion times, and I'll keep saying that. Well, I'm not going to say that when we're 12 to 15 games in. But this team could go down as one of the best teams, Liverpool teams we've ever seen. I'm going to say it now. Surely winning a title would help to push that idea, but this team could go down as the best Liverpool squad ever. Ever. Or at least rank up there with the top ones. Let me say that. You're not the best squad ever. I wasn't living when we had a lot of these amazing teams, so I don't want to go that far. But as far as I've been living, I think the best squad. And who would have thought all that time ago, getting rid of Sterling, Coutinho, Suarez, that we would have even a better attack now, even better players now, even a better team now? Who would have thought that? Crazy how things happen, man. Halffoot wanted Terry on Fan Part Live to say Lukaku is garbage. Did he? Yeah, I saw Terry's little. That dude's hilarious, man. He came across as if he wanted to back Mourinho and all this, but now he's saying, lovely to have you, but it's time to go. Listen, I think a lot of the staunch Mourinho supporters at United, the very small minority of them, most of them are hanging in there and still saying that, it's not him, it's the players. But you can see a lot of them are like, nah, he's got to go now. I tried to do it, I couldn't do it. And listen, I mean, again, from that, if I'm a United fan and I'm not being biased one way or the other as far as Mourinho or whatever, I'm mad at the players. I'm mad at the players. I mean, again, Alexis Sanchez is not a football player anymore. He is a modern gigolo. That's what he is. He's not a football player. Lukaku missing wide open goals. I mean, Marino can only do but so much. I thought Luke Shaw looked really good playing attacking football on that left side. But, Marino cannot play for them. So they had their chances. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I think United have the money as much as it kills me. They are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Well, that's just true, yeah. The board isn't backing Marino if he wanted center backs. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're not backing him in general. I mean, to bring in Fred, who looks like there might be a player in there, but I don't see anything in Fred. So that's much in Fred. And then what? Dalot and who else? They got the keeper from Stoke, third string keeper from Stoke. So I don't know. It goes to show you have to give Mourinho money to buy a player. Well, I mean, that's most coaches. I mean, who's been a manager who's done really well without buying players, besides Claudio Ranieri, or buying big time players. So yeah, again, but see, we say he's bought. Sometimes I wonder who was really a Mourinho player and who was really a United player, the board player. You know what I mean? I often wonder that. Just because you see a team spending money doesn't mean it's all. I mean, we've seen that in plenty of situations with that. You know, it's sometimes it could be the club who's getting these guys. So a ninja, that's funny. No, I mean, listen, most Brazilian players are good dribblers. So let's just keep it real on that. Are just good football players in general. And I think there's a player in there. I really do. But I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. I mean, he's obviously not having the impact that Naby Keita's having at Liverpool. So came out the board by the player. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I don't, we can sit and joke about, but he's asking for more money, but he spent. The club spent that. That's not Mourinho's money. The club spent that. So maybe, of all the players he's gotten, maybe Lukaku, obviously Matic, that's clearly Mourinho buy. Um, I think Pogba's probably going to be coming to United anyway. It seemed that way. But let's throw him in there as well. Ibrahimovic. But yeah, I don't know if a lot of these guys are Mourinho players. But whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, they are spending money. And whoever messed up, whether it's Mourinho getting these players and they're bombing out, or whether it's the club, is what it is. You cannot spend that much money and not, be doing much. So, to see Brazilian plays Nigerian, I'm not even sure what that means, bro. How does Nigerian play? Tony, but with Poach, Pep, and Klopp, the board trust them, so have more of a say in the transfer. Yeah, I honestly think Pochettino might be the next Man United manager. Um, I can't really see him jumping ship mid-season though, like while he's coaching Tottenham. But Marino's not gonna last. Christmas might be it for him, and who they bring in the interim, I don't know. Maybe it's Ryan Giggs. If it's Ryan Giggs, then I don't think Poach gets the job. I don't think they would do that to Ryan Giggs. I don't think they would bring him in and then say, "Oh, you know what? Poach is available. He wants to come. Gotta go." I think he already feels bad that he wasn't really in the running after Louis Van Gaal left. So United fans need to be prepared for not getting back to winning ways for many reasons to come, just like we had to. Yeah, be a lot of pressure, and he's done a fair job, build up a budget. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. But it'll be a good week. Another good week in the games. It's been a crazy. The Premier League is really heating up, man. Do you see all those red cards? The Premier League is really heating up, and there are teams that are going to want to show that, hey, look, we deserve to fight. Um, Towards the mid or top area of the table. And so, it's still early again. But teams like Watford, Bournemouth, Leicester will be a team that think they could. Everton will be another team that think they can fight. Top of the table this year. So it's gonna be tough, man. Joe Gomez is only good at heading the ball away. Okay, I agree. Liverpool fans have suffered a lot. It's United's turn now. Fergie really spoiled United fans. They really haven't felt kind of the pressure for it. Well, things change, man. Things change, and um, I think that was their biggest fear. They knew. I'm surprised they didn't all cry in unison the last game for Fergie. Maybe they did, because that was it right there. That's the writing on the wall. Once he left, you knew it was going to be a struggle. You knew it was going to be a struggle. So, would I prefer winning the Premier League or Champions League if you had to choose, William Omamo? Well, we never won the Premier League, so I'm gonna have to go that. It's an easy answer. We've won the Champions League, so yeah, I need the Prem. If Poach did go to United, you'll find out. Then was, yeah, if the boy was buying, yeah, or they trust Poach. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, listen, it's all about the style of play. Poach, and Poach is a defender, or was a defender. But he obviously is going to bring a more attacking style of play. He's going to make sure the defense is top notch everywhere he's gone. Southampton, they had a good defense with good defensive midfielders. You see the same thing at Spurs. So I'm not sure did he manage at Espanyol? Did he manage somewhere else besides Southampton and Spurs? Anyway, he always has a solid defense, good defensive midfielders, good keeper. He's going to have some good attacking players. So I think that's the move you got to make. I think that's the move you got to make, and the sooner the better. Again, I can't really see Pochettino leaving now. So again, maybe you just bring someone in to finish the season off. And that's why I felt like, depending on this game against Spurs, if they would have beat them, it buys Mourinho a little more time, obviously. Um, so, but again, I'll say this: if that's the game that gets Mourinho fired, the players should take the blame, in my opinion. What team will Mourinho manage next? Oh, I don't know. Maybe No, not PSG. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe go back to Italy, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe try to get the Portugal job. Who knows? As soon as I see Klopp winning things, I can see Poch win things with Spurs too. Yeah, I think Poch is he's got them in the right direction. Winning things, I don't know. I don't see them winning the league anytime soon, honestly. Maybe an FA Cup, maybe a League Cup, but I don't see them winning anything really because I don't want them to win something that we can't win or we don't win. So Richarlison looks like he's going to cause problems. Yeah, and that's good for him because people laughed about the money they paid for him, which is a lot, but he's banging the goals in. And it's unfortunate for him that he's going to be missing so many, I think 2 or 3 games. He got a red card recently for a headbutt, I think it was. But no, we saw what he did at Watford. It seems right now that he's really comfortable and he's a threat for them. So, yeah, he will be a bus driver by then, mate. Spurs odds on the league are more now since last night. They have gone up. Yeah, and listen again. Alderweireld, who was out for a lot of the season last season, is back. Danny Rose, who to me was their best fullback. I don't care what you say. He's back and playing good. Love how he's being physical with Pogba last night. And then you got Lucas Moura, who just didn't really come on as great as I think they thought he would. Got the double yesterday. Very fast. The way he muscled those dudes off for that third goal was just unbelievable and unacceptable as well. But Lucas Moura is a fine player. So, yes, that's one other guy we got to worry about. Who I'm not worried about? Dele Alli. I mean, this guy, he's never hit the heights of the heights that he did in the first season with them. I'm worried about him at all. I think Son will be still gone by the time we play them. So, but Lucas Moura is definitely one to try to keep a lid on for sure. Charleston said he wants to get. Well, he should. Most players would say that, but we'll see. Hey, you never know. Could there be 2 Liverpool teams in the top 4? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Everton is still undefeated this season. But they could really cause some teams some problems. I'm just being honest. He said he wants to be the main striker for Brazil in the next World Cup. Okay, you might be going a little too far with that, but we'll see. It depends on how this season goes. Who knows? Ali is trash. Crystal says, let's not have too much sympathy for United. As soon as we lose a game, they're going to be running their mouth. Yeah, I don't have any sympathy for United. I don't think anyone on here does. We're just simply talking about it. But yeah, I never have any sympathy for them at all. What I am saying is that, that they, this is a game where they should have won, and the player should have won that game. It had nothing to do with Mourinho at all to me. Everton lacked the strength and defense to push for top 4. That's probably true. They made some defensive reinforcements, but they have shipped in some goals. Does anyone know the score lines of their games this season? They drew 1 and 1-2, I think. So Watford always start well, then fade. Yeah, they do usually. That does usually happen. Yeah, they have a decent few weeks and then drew 2-1-1. No, I know that, but I mean, like, does anyone know the scores? Oh, they drew 2. Sorry, they drew 2-1-1. Okay, I thought they won 1 or 1-2, drew 2. Okay, 1-2, drew 1. Got you. Thank you, Dom. They drew like 2 games already. Yeah, I wanted to know the score lines. How many goals did they concede in those games? But anyway, not a big deal. Yeah, top 6, probably at most. I'm just saying you never know. I mean, and it's still early. Can their defense improve? Can their back 4 improve? Did they get Mina? Did they get what was the young kid that played with Chelsea and then went to Stoke? Did they get him as well? Zuma? Or am I am I mistaken? But yeah, no, you're probably right. Their attack is like I don't Tolson, whatever his name is. I don't think he's a guy to worry about. Richarlison, of course, is the former Arsenal guy can do some things. But yeah, I mean Sigurdsson. But yeah, I mean I personally don't fear them, but they can hurt some teams this season. I don't think Liverpool's going to be one of them. They could possibly give us a good game. They're clearly a better team than they were with Sam Allardyce, I think. Um, and they gave us some issues when he was here, so we'll see. 2-2, 2-1, 2-2. Okay, okay. All right, so they've let in 5 goals in 3 games. All right. I don't even know who that is from Southampton, man. They only brand him, and he's like they only bought him, I guess, and he's like 6'2", look a good defender. Okay, okay. Where'd they get him from? Vestergaard. Never heard of him. Um, but yeah, no, Liverpool, we're looking good, man. Obviously, winning the ugly way sometimes, and that's cool. And again, like I said before, I think if we're gonna be playing this good defensively and have this great of a oh, he's a Virgil van Dijk replacement. Okay, cool. If we're playing this well defensively, at least I think we are, and the goalkeeper's doing what he's doing, clearly getting us the points in that game because that Brighton shot, if that's Mignolet, that's Karius, Bogdan, if there's a lot of keepers, that's a goal. So big up the boy Alisson, because that's a really good situation, good stop. He might be able to pick up some points for us, kind of like De Gea does for United so often. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you for everyone who came in. Didn't expect 9 people, so I appreciate all of you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow to talk about something. I'm doing it every day this week, guys. Every day. So I know I'm not Redman TV. I know I'm not Anfield Agenda. I know I'm not the Anfield rap and all. I'm me though. If you want to come chat, if you want to come jump in, do it, man. I'm here every day this week, probably around the same time. It's about 7:45 U.S. time when I started. So whatever time that is for you guys, this is where I'll be. So see you guys tomorrow.